Hey guys. Okay, so I was just recently talking to a friend over the internet, and he's just now going into college, so he's a freshman in college, just a year behind me. And I haven't talked to him in a while, and I was just talking to him, trying to figure out how everything is going with him, if he's excited, stuff like that. And then came up the topic about roommates. I asked him if he's rooming with somebody that he already knows or if he's rooming with a stranger, which is what I did. And it turns out that he's actually rooming with a stranger, and he started asking me, like, how was it? Like, was it okay? Did I like my roommates? Stuff like that. And then, truth be told, like, I had to tell him, like, no, I didn't like my roommates. You don't actually know a person until you live with them. And, like, when you room with someone that you just meet that day, like, there's no easy way to connect with them. Like, you just gotta kind of, there's always that awkward phase where, like, you just kind of, like, hey, what's up? Not much. I mean, moving in and everything. So he started asking me, like, what exactly did my roommates do that made me dislike them so much? And I say roommates because I had two, and no, it wasn't suite style. It was a triple bedroom dorm. So I was already kind of awful, but I mean, it was the cheapest option that I could afford. So I just kind of went with that. And alright, so truth be told, I did have some communication with my roommates before even meeting them in person. We would talk to each other on Facebook and see, like, who's bringing what, stuff like that. Who's bringing the printer, who's bringing the fridge, microwave, etc. And that was all dandy and fine. First day I met them, I called up my roommate, one of my roommates, and I asked her, like, what exactly are you supposed to do? She was the first one out of us three who got there. And, she kind of helped me out, which, that was kind of to be expected. I hung out with her for, like, the first 2 days, and, it started off alright, but then, like, I started breaking away from her because I found my other friends who I knew was going to the same school that I was, and then, I just kind of clicked better with the new people that I met more than I did my own roommates. And so we kind of, like, we all drifted apart, and it became, like, really obvious and more apparent that, like, I was totally different from them. The two of them, my other two roommates, they totally got on well. They were like one and the same person almost. And I was like the odd one out. I was the black sheep amongst, like, our little, like, room thing. And it was so awkward. Like, I was the one who was so vastly different. Anytime that there was some sort of, like, room decision to make, I was never the one to make it or be a part of it, even if I had a say, which was almost like 90% of the time just the opposite of what they wanted. I would be outnumbered. It was always 2 to 1 because the both of them would team up. And on top of that, they never consulted me at all about anything that they wanted to do. Nothing that they did or changed in the room was ever consulted with me. And, like, I get it, I'm outnumbered, but I mean, you could at least tell me beforehand so I could prepare for some sort of change, or, like, at least tell you if, like, whether or not if I do or do not appreciate it. And, like, that's just, like, roommate courtesy 101. When you tell your roommate something's happening, like, you're moving this or someone's coming over, that never happened. Like, I get it. Like, sometimes your friends will just randomly drop by in your room, and you kind of can't help it. You just want to be a good host and be like, oh, hey, yeah, come in, whatever. And, I mean, my friends did that to me, but we always left, and if they ever did come in my room, they would never stay long. And besides, my roommates were never really nice to them anyways, because, like, they already didn't really like me, so they didn't like any of my friends or whoever associated with me. Like, funny thing, one of my good friends, like, she lives off campus, so she was just on campus. I told her just, hey, stay in my room for a little bit before we go out. And, like, she's a really nice girl, super polite, doesn't, like, she'll talk if you, like, talk to her, stuff like that. Like, she's, like, so nice. And they still made her feel, like, so awkward. Like, they wouldn't say hi to her. They would make her feel so uncomfortable. And one of my other my guy friends, like, that was, like, so much worse for them because I have more guy friends than I do girlfriends. And it was just so much worse for them. I remember I asked him, I'm like, do you feel comfortable when you're in my room? And he's like, no, your roommates like totally do not make me feel comfortable. I feel like I'm getting the cold shoulder, and I didn't even do anything to them. And it's not, they don't even like try to get to know them. Like they'll make small talk only because it's courteous, but like it's very obvious that they wish that my friends never came into the room ever. And that's the thing though, like they brought their friends to the room a lot and I never said a word. Like they would have freaking slumber parties with at least three other people and I'm like I'll be just sitting on my bed, on my laptop doing whatever, trying not to pay attention to them. And like if I could avoid them, I would just like, go to a different room and like go to another one of my friends' room in the same building or just straight up leave. And like I don't know, like it was a very obvious thing that we didn't like each other or each other's friends. The only person like that I ever brought over to my room that they liked and were nice to and actually made conversation with was one of my best guy friends. And I think they only did that because they thought we were dating and no, gross. I'm just saying, like, if you're going to be like that roommate, like I'm just saying, you're probably like, I may be nice to your face, like, just because I'm not the type of person to start drama. Like, I'm going to be the type to just like sit down, like let you hate me and whatever. I'll hate you right back, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to make you miserable unless you start something. By the way, they did start something, and I totally wanted to just like get back at them so bad. But at that point, it was like the last week of school, and I didn't want to waste my effort at all on them. I had finals to worry about, so just a like word of advice to anyone who's like becoming a roommate or like is going to get a roommate that you don't know. Like at least be courteous. Like if you are uncomfortable with something, say it, and like don't be that one who goes behind your roommate's back or goes out of your way to make them miserable when they have done nothing. Like if they're like a super talkative little bitch and like they won't shut up when you're trying to sleep, go ahead, fine. But like if they are honestly like not doing anything and you just don't like them because they're too different from you, but they don't go out of their way to do anything to like offend or annoy you, don't be that roommate that totally like makes things worse for them when they didn't even do anything. I've already had to suffer through that, and not even just by one person. It was a team effort from the two of them, and that was pretty awful. I swear, if I ever see them, I'm not going to say hi. I'm not going to smile. Shit, man. I'm just gonna be like probably either scowl or just pretend I didn't see them because I did not get on with my roommates at all. I'm so glad that right now I live in a new apartment with somebody who I choose to live with, and it's like immediately it's already so much better than what it ever has been my freshman year in college.